We begin in Greece, where massive wildfires have left hundreds of people homeless and forced thousands to evacuate. The flames have been fanned by Greece's worst heatwave in more than 3 decades. As some smaller blazes are brought under control, residents who had been forced to flee are trying to return home. Many are asking if authorities could have acted sooner. Our correspondent Barbara Vesel reports from Athens.
Irene has been living on this hillside all her life. And now she refuses to leave. The neighborhood had been evacuated the night before, but Irene has come back, slowly and all on her own. Please tell them to throw some water in my house. I want to go in. Police and a firefighter are arguing with the old lady. You must come with us. It's too dangerous, they say. This is my house. Let me go in. I'm not leaving. But in the end, the police wins, of course. Down the road, a group of volunteers is fighting a heroic battle. They have commandeered an ancient truck and are trying to save their neighborhood with one fire hose, a lot of muscle power and desperation. But small fires are constantly rekindling on the hillside of this protected nature reserve, part of the green lung of Athens. The place is on fire. We lost the most precious piece of Athens. We grew up here. We're hurting and crying because of this catastrophe. Further up, the professionals have moved in and a small rescue operation gets underway. One of the volunteers has hurt his leg climbing up the steep terrain. Meanwhile, outside help has arrived from France, Israel, Bulgaria and other European countries. Here, it's Cypriot firefighters trying to shoulder the burden. The situation is really difficult. It's tragic. We work together and help our Greek colleagues. We face a much worse situation here than we had expected. Where the firefighters came too late, there is total devastation. Volunteers are battling on with shovels to extinguish the stubborn flames. A disaster, they're burning our country. This was a virgin forest and they burned it. It's so sad. Not only is the forest gone here, the animals are suffering. Somebody left this donkey when fleeing the area. Neighbors are now trying to help. His owner left it behind here to die from the fire. Thousands of animals have already died in these flames. In a few weeks, the fires may be gone, but it's going to take decades for these hills to heal again.
DW correspondent Barbara Vesel filed that report, and she joins us now from Athens. Barbara, good to see you. Another night of battling fires. How are people coping where you are?
People getting increasingly angry, and they are really battling. I mean, I've never seen so many volunteers out. Whole neighborhoods have come out. Everybody who can carry a hose or a shovel or a hoe is trying to climb up on those hillsides and sort of extinguish the fires. They're really stubborn because the forest floor has burned and there is so much burnable material there that it just comes up again and just rekindles all the time, as we have seen. And it is really desperate. And the more people fight, the more angry and, of course, the more sad they get. It is a really difficult situation. Overall, it has become a bit better because the government has doubled the number of firefighters in the area from 400 to 800. And they have, during the day yesterday, made a big difference. They have brought the fires under control, at least, so they're not raging anymore sort of and jumping into new neighborhoods. They're keeping the flames in place, but still, it's not over yet. It's still ongoing, particularly in other parts of the Greek mainland, where in one area 70% of the forest and of the whole area has burned down. People there are in utter despair.
You mentioned, Barbara, in your report earlier that the aftermath of the wildfires, is there already talk of how to rebuild?
Of course it is. I mean, the Prime Minister Mitsotakis, he has been keen to go on television a lot, trying to send out consoling messages, telling people he feels with them. And he also promised yesterday that he would replant all those forests around Athens, which are really so important for the ecological survival of this huge built-up city. But that is a promise easily made and very difficult to really implement. Because how are you going? These are decades-old forests. Those are indigenous forests. Replant the trees. It's going to take 20 years at least till something can grow again. Plus, people we talked to on those hills said what will happen in the winter once the rains come is that we will have the most horrible landslides because all the soil is going to come falling down those hills. So one catastrophe might follow on the other.
Barbara, thank you very much. DW correspondent Barbara Wessel in Athens. Now, while parts of Greece continue to burn, other parts of southern Europe, the Mediterranean and Russia are also battling blazes. Fires in Turkey have claimed at least 8 lives. Meanwhile, hundreds of fires are burning in Kosovo. Blazes in North Macedonia have forced the government to declare a state of emergency there, and fires in Albania have threatened homes. Wildfires in Siberia, in Russia's Far East, are still burning several weeks after they ignited. There, dozens of villages have been evacuated.